And welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me for part 2 of the Zombie Sailors Heroes and Faces release. So, in the previous video, we just looked at the 5 figures, 6 if you count the variant of Sabu for Series 1. Now, Series 2 of Zombie Sailors was finally released in bulk in the last couple of weeks, and This series is kind of confusing for me. So, unlike Series 1, they don't put the series on the card, which kind of sucks. But at least all 5 figures, 6 figures with the variant, of course. At least you know that they're all Series 1 because they're all black card figures. Now, once you jump into Series 2, you kind of balance between orange and red card and back to orange, etc. And what do I always talk about? You like to use the back of the card to kind of get a feel for who's been released already and who is in that respective series. A lot of the time, now it's not, something that's, written in stone that's how it has to be done. I mean, you look at original San Francisco toy makers, all of their box sets, regardless of who the character is, has the exact same backdrop. The only thing that changes is the bio card, right? So, and that's like for both 2-pack and single, so it's kind of irritating when you're trying to figure out what character goes where and what have you. So there were a couple of figures that kind of followed up the original 5, and they followed the original 5 in a very short span. So for the longest time, I was actually thinking that these could be considered, part of Series 1. I don't believe so. I think they're still broken down as Series 2 figures. They don't exactly say so in the cards, so you're kind of left wondering. But for the rest of these figures in both red and orange card, we're going to consider them to be Series 2. First character we're going to look at is Jeff Jarrett. So, Jeff Jarrett, I never mention his name. Whenever I talk about Hasbro characters, WWF characters that should have been made for Hasbro, had Hasbro continued on, Jeff Jarrett should be like one of those names, like right at the top of everybody's list. And for love of me, I never think about Jeff Jarrett. Maybe because I just wasn't a fan, and his wrestling wasn't all that impressive to me, his antics. Yeah, he's kind of like Ric Flair in the sense that the man has been a well-known commodity for years, both pre and post WWF days. He's a WWE legend, so sure. But I was just never a huge fan, and even to me his gimmick was boring, his matches were boring. I just did not like Jeff Jarrett. It's kind of like how I feel about Ric Flair, right? To me, Ric Flair was always the bad guy, and kind of like with his antics when you bang his face off the turn post or something, and he kind of turns around, dazed and confused, and then does like this goofy head first flop. I mean, it's just kind of ridiculous. I have to admit, though, I really love the Jeff Jarrett figure. The figure itself is pretty solid. The paint job could be better. This looks like it was customized by, just a regular person working out of their home. Like maybe they took a Owen Hart from Hasbro, painted on his chest, and maybe swapped out the head for Jeff Jarrett. So I'm not going to knock Zombie Sailors on this figure. Like I said, I think that the Jeff Jarrett is probably one of the best figures from the Zombie Sailor collection. But I just would have liked it if that little shirt that he's wearing, and you can see it is like an actual shirt, and that's basically the design. So that's kind of terrible. The head sculpt, I mean, I've seen Jeff Jarrett head put on like LJN figures, and they're horrific. They're almost as bad as what you see for like Owen Hart on LJN figures. So the head mold looks pretty solid. Based on the whole cartoon caricature that you get from Hasbro and Retros and all these other lines, it fits in beautifully. Great right extended arm pose. Quality figure overall. Is it a 10 out of 10? Maybe 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10. And with the coloring of the chest and pants even, it could have been better. Like I said, if this was somebody's custom figure, that would have improved it a little bit in my eyes, but this is professionally done, and that just kind of takes away the value for me. So a lot of time I've talked about trying to subscribe to Zombie Sailors, because if you do want these figures when they first come out, pre-order, you're looking at about $40 a figure. Once they go to eBay, you're pretty much forced to pay up for it, and the figure like Jeff Jarrett will hover around $75-$80. I know when the figure was first released, Andrew Todd Martin on eBay, he has the Mabel Toys channel or site on eBay, and he used to always sell the figure loose and was getting like $100 plus for like a loose figure. I'm like, insane. I absolutely want the loose figure. I didn't think to buy duplicates because I don't want to buy duplicates for everything. Even if money wasn't an issue, to me, it's just wasteful. I consider myself to be a mint on card collector, so I kind of feel like if I don't have the loose figure, that's fine. Not a major deal. The next figure we have is Danhausen. I gotta be honest, I know absolutely nothing about Danhausen. In fact, the only time I've ever seen this name is when I saw him on the Zombie Sailors website to be purchased. I still haven't looked him up. I still have no idea who this is. I do know that he has one of the coolest looks of any of these action figures. That's absolutely amazing. I do have a second Danhausen figure available, and I'm trying to think. What happened is I bought this on Zombie Sailors as a pre-order, I think, and I think later on Zombie Sailors came back and like, hey, we got more figures, and they gave you a second time option, and I think I got it again because I had been seeing this on like eBay for like $7,500 and whatnot, and so when I had the opportunity to buy a second one, I jumped on it. But then I decided, what, I'm not going to open it. Me being an MOC collector, as I kind of reiterate, it really hurts for me to open up packages, so I just decided, I'm just going to resell it. Now, I'm not putting it up for like $125 on eBay. I probably bought it for $40, trying to get maybe $60 out of it or something. And I kind of look at it because after seller's fees and shipping costs, whatnot, what I paid on taxes and shipping to me, at $60, you're only looking at like maybe a $5 profit, if that. So, like I said, I bought it with the intention of opening it, and I just couldn't bring myself to doing it. But I have an extra Sabu, green pants, and I have an extra Danhausen. They're both listed for sale. If they don't sell, I think by the new year, I'm just going to say, eat the profit I could have made by selling them and probably just open them up. And that way I have loose figures to put with the carded. I don't know, man. His hands, the way that they kind of curl backwards and whatnot, it looks super cool. Like a nice horror-themed type of character. I don't know if I covet the figure as much, though. And try to take this out of the package because, yeah, they give you like all these extra pieces, and I cannot stand that. It's terrible. But he does come with like that little cape in the backdrop. I'm thinking I might open up that one because I really do like this figure. I think it is a fantastic look. Even if I don't covet the play pose as much, I still think it's quality all around. And that's Danhausen. Yeah, I'm not going to spend too much time on each one of these characters. This next guy is Nick Gage, and once again, I have no clue who Nick Gage is. I don't even know if I've heard that name before. It's possible. Like I said, there are a lot of characters that they don't wrestle under their actual name. Macho Man was what? Randy Paffo, something like that. And I always thought Randy Savage was his name, right? So, did Nick Cage wrestle under a different name? I don't know. And you notice with the Jeff Jarrett card, kind of jumping from orange card to the Danhausen with red card. And basically, the majority of these remaining figures are all going to be red card. So, Nick Cage and the next 4 figures we're going to look at, they all came in together. Again, I kind of keep them together based on how they are displayed on the back of the card. And this one actually changes out a few of the wrestlers. So this is Danhausen, and you can see, you know, it's mostly what's been put out already, as well as some future releases for the series. Now, where this one, it not only includes this series, but also shows you a lot of Series 3 figures. And I really hope they're actually breaking these down, you know, Slick, One Man Gang, etc., into Series 3, and not just releasing them as additional Series 2 figures, because that's going to drive me nuts. I'd want to have some kind of separation. So the Hercules Hernandez and Paul Roma. I'm actually kind of interested in getting those guys. Nick Cage, it looks like he comes with a... Well, I thought that was a microphone, but that's either a mirror or maybe a knife. Nah, I can't even tell you. Because now that I look at it, this little piece right here, it could be like a pizza slicer. And this white thing on the side here, baseball bat maybe? Shoot, your guess is as good as mine. So this figure actually comes with some weapons, so that's pretty solid. You know, additional accessories. Nick Cage. I just don't have any history or anything to talk about these guys. You know, any feuds or titles won or anything like that. You know, did they headline this WrestleMania and all that stuff? I don't know. I've never followed these characters, so to me, like I said, the first time I've ever seen these characters is when I purchase a certain line. Either characters like, I don't know, who's a good one? Probably Roman Reigns, maybe. Well, that's probably the first time I ever saw him was in the Mattel Retros or something like that. You know, Nick Cage. I mean, I never would have heard that name if it wasn't for the Zombie Sailor figures. Now, you guys already know my all-time favorite LJN figure. It's my custom LJN of Bruiser Brody, and now we get to add a Hasbro style Bruiser Brody as well. This one is absolutely phenomenal. I don't know if I would necessarily say that this one is better than the Yokozuna Series 8 from Hasbro, which still is my favorite version. But when it comes to grapplers and gimmicks, heels and faces, etc., you know, Cello toys, I kind of, because they're all Hasbro related figures, I kind of jumble them all in together under one group as 4-inch plastic figures or whatnot. But you gotta look at that figure. I mean, look at that face. Everything from the head mold to the accessory, even has the chain up in there as well. Brilliant, freaking fantastic accessory all around. I mean, even better than the chain. Like I said, that vest, incredible piece. I think the only thing I would have liked on this particular figure is if his boots kind of meshed up well with the Bruiser Brody custom LJN I have. And I don't know why people keep using. Did Bruiser Brody and Greg Valentine, did they have like similar fighting style or something? I asked this question seriously because the guys that made, I think Zashman made the custom prototype that I have of the Bruiser Brody figure, and he uses a Greg Valentine LJN pose, you know, with the left arm up and the right arm down, right? So that's one thing. But with Hasbro Series 3, Greg Valentine had the right arm, the right extended arm, right? Bruiser Brody, has the same right extended arm fighting pose, and probably one of those little twist and clothesline or punch, what have you. So I'm kind of finding it interesting that all of my Bruiser Brody figures are molded after a lot of the Greg Valentine figures. And this one continues on the same way as Nick Gage with the new line of characters that are doing. Bruiser Brody is an absolutely incredible piece. I said it in the last video that if you're going to buy anything from this line, I feel like Dino Bravo from Series 1, Series 2, Andre the Giant, and Bruiser Brody has to be in that discussion. And the last figure we're going to look at today, that figure also has to be included. So you're going to be 4 really important pieces. Bruiser Brody, next figure we're looking at is Raven. So the only thing I know about Raven is that he's like this WCW star. I actually had a bunch of, I guess they were Toy Biz, I want to say. And a lot of these Toy Biz or WCW characters I didn't know anything about. So when I sold them, I basically sold like 25 figures, got like $11 for them or something. Unfortunately, this Raven just beats the pants off of that figure I had previously. I mean, this is an absolutely remarkable piece with the kind of the dual extended arms. I don't know why. Whenever I look at a figure, it always reminds me of like certain characters. Like I look at this one and I think Draven, Eric Draven from The Pro. I don't know why I get that feel when I look at him, but that's one of the first things. Or if you think like a very young. Dang. Trying to think of the movie from the Parenthood. One of the most popular people on the planet, and I can't remember his name. John Wick. I'm gonna call him John Wick. Now I gotta feel humiliated that one of the best actors on the planet, I can't remember him. Raven. I don't know what else I can say about this character. Not much. Great looking piece. I mean, is it a must-have? Looks awesome, but no. Not a must-have for me. Now, here's another must-have that I skipped over. King Kong Bundy. You would think that if I was going to go out and buy duplicates of certain characters, that why would I pass on getting King Kong Bundy? I guess the plan is still to purchase the figures, one at a time through Zombie Sailors or these other, toy manufacturing companies, and try and maybe get the loose figures on like auction off eBay or something later on, or off Mercari. I mean, we're not talking $5 figures here. If this was 1990 Hasbro and that we're going off the same Hasbro style prices, $3.99, $5.99, etc. Shoot, at $5 a piece, even $10 a piece, I'd buy like 10 of these up. But it sucks when the figures are selling for $35, $40, $50 a piece, and that's not even before they hit eBay. That's store prices, and that's insane. Is King Kong Bundy worth the price? Absolutely. I really want to get a second piece of him loose. I don't have another one, but I can't buy him. I can't buy his figures on card. If I buy them on card, I'm going to want to keep them on card, which means I'm going to end up trying to resell it. If I buy them loose, I don't have the mindset of going through and having to destroy a package to do so. Now, whether they're carded or loose, by today's standards, I think most people are probably trying to take them out of the package anyways and display them appropriately, but I don't think any of these figures are really going to be what Hasbro and LJN, are today or over the last couple years. I just don't think any of these figures are going to be selling for $200, $600, $1,200, etc. Right now, the black strap Andre, because he's a little bit harder to get, I think that maybe. There was one I missed out recently. It was a variant for one of the, I guess, TV analysts or whatnot, interviewer or something. I forgot who the character's name was. It was like 1 in 1,500 or something like that, or 1 in 500, and I missed out on that one. So maybe figures like that, but they're going to be valuable now, not necessarily in the future, because people want those variants right now. King Kong Bundy, fantastic look. I absolutely love the fact that they created Bundy. This was, at the time, before I saw the new releases for Series 2 for pre-order, I could never imagine that, King Kong Bundy was on the docket to be made. And a lot of the figures you're not knowing about until they're made, right? Or until the pre-orders come in. Not a big important piece for me, but Kevin Sullivan. I don't know this look. The only Kevin Sullivan version I know of is the original San Francisco figures. That's the only reason I know this name. Now, the great thing about the major wrestling figure podcast and Grapplers and Gimmicks and Heels and Faces, stuff like that, is that these figures, they deal with the estate of the character, the wrestler or the interviewer or the manager, etc. So a lot of the money that we pay to purchase these figures, they actually go back to the families of retired wrestlers or deceased wrestlers, etc. And that is so amazing. When I look at something like Random Treasures, and I look at their Etsy page, and I see them coming up with like these different characters and creating these different rubber LJNs to add to the roster. At no point did I ever hear or see anybody talking about having permission to make these characters or to put these funds back in the hands of the family and whatnot. Is it legal? I don't know, but at least with companies like this, they do have contracts with the families and stuff, and the fact that the money goes back to them, not all of it. I mean, obviously they're still a company; they have to turn profit, but the fact that they are getting a percentage, that's a huge help, and that makes me want to support a company like this even more. Kevin Sullivan, he's like a Dino Bravo figure, pretty much the same body type. So if you were to get this, it'd be a quality figure to work with. So that's something. And I do kind of like the face and whatnot. It does look kind of solid to me. Not necessarily a must-have in my eyes, but if I want a playable action figure, yeah, this is definitely one of the first ones I'm going to look at in that regard. Next one is Andre the Giant. And you know how much of a stickler I am and how much I love Andre the Giant figures. I mean, 3 of the best action figures ever in LJN. His Hasbro figure was absolutely incredible. I've got so many Jakks Pacific Classic Superstars of him, and I think I got a couple Elites as well. So, big Andre the Giant collector. And like I said, when I was it last video or this video, I bought 2 of these. And the first figure was supposed to be a black strap Andre. The second one was supposed to be a blue strap Andre. Yet, for whatever reason, when they shipped the figures to me a couple weeks ago, they sent me 2 Andres, both in blue strap. And I think this is Ringside Collectibles. So yeah, this ain't the same one. Unless this is it. No, that's not the same either. No, it's the same thing. But I do know that on like Thanksgiving Day or something, they're supposed to have like a Black Friday type of deal. Now, I gotta find that poster, because I don't know if it's actually Thursday night or if it actually is sometime Friday, and you're gonna be able to pre-order the black strap Andre. And I already bought 2 of these. I hate having to pay more money, and I'm probably going to buy a few extras, because I feel like this is one figure that 10, 15, 20 years from now will probably be like the rest of the Hasbros are, and actually be worth a lot of money. But I think the black Andre over the blue Andre will probably be going for that price. And for whatever reason, I didn't bring down the loose figure. Like I said, it hurt me a lot to open this out of the package. with someone like Dino Bravo, when that package fell off the wall and had that little cut at the bottom, that kind of forced my hand to open up the package and have a loose Dino Bravo. I think I bought a second referee and opened up that package because I bought him intentionally to open him. This one, like I said, I wasn't going to open him. Well, I thought I was going to get two figures or two different variants. I only got one variant, so I decided to open up one of the variants of the blue strap Andre and just kind of look at the detail. The only thing that I don't like about these, I wish their skin tone was much darker. And see, I'm looking at like Dino Bravo. He's got like nice dark skin, but for whatever reason, Andre the Giant is extremely pale. I'm trying to see if I have any loose figures that I could probably put them up against to kind of compare. But this is an absolutely gorgeous piece. And once the big rubber guys come out with their LJN of Andre the Giant, that's going to be absolutely killer. I can't wait for that. Hopefully we don't have to wait like a whole entire year to get these figures in. Alright, so the last figure we're going to look at. So like Jeff Jarrett, this figure or this character goes back to Orange Card. And that's why I was thinking that this might be a Series 3, but no, I mean they're all listed on the back together, so I'm keeping it as a Series 2 release. And this one is Mike Shaw. I know him best as Bastion Booger. I did buy 2 Bastion Boogers, and the same day I got the 2 Bastion Boogers, I got 2 Rhythm and Blue Cello toys of Greg Valentine. And the intention was to open up one of the packages and keep the other one on the card. I haven't opened up the other Bastion Booger. You know why. Am I going to hold on to it and try and sell it immediately? Or should I hold on to it, wait a year, try to sell it? Or should I just put it in storage and keep it out of the site for the next 20 years and hope it gains some traction? I don't play with these toys. You guys already know. I've mentioned it a million times. I don't wrestle with any of my action figures. Outside of maybe popping them back and forth for a few seconds here and there, but nothing substantial. I don't actually sit down and have wrestling matches or anything. But when I look at figures like Grapplers and Gimmicks Mabel, when I look at Zombie Sailors, Bastion Booger, and the Andre the Giant figure, Dino Bravo, and I get those figures, and then I get like the Cello toys like Big Daddy and Giant Haystacks, and I just want to put these figures together, grab your Yokozuna out of Hasbro and some of your favorite figures, and just have these really fun super matches. I feel like with those type of characters, with those type of figures, you can sit down and have a lot of real fun with it. I just haven't done it, man. I was thinking about like recording myself and having like an actual full feature length 30 man Royal Rumble or something, but how do I film that? I kind of did a test one day, just kind of see how it worked out, but when I see what Bone Breaking Action does with his videos, the little stop action videos, that crap is amazing. I don't have the tech savviness to do that, and I wish I did, because if I could do what he does, that would be so fantastic. And when guys like Blatant Interference Wrestling does his LJN matches, I'm impressed. I can't. I don't even have the knowledge of what certain finishers are called anymore. I mean, this is what you get for not watching wrestling in over a quarter of a century, right? So a lot of the way that wrestlers actually wrestle in the ring, I don't know how to imitate that. I did once upon a time when I was a kid, but over the last 20 plus years, almost 30 years, I mean, it's impossible to remember absolutely everything. So just to kind of recap, we had a Jeff Jarrett, we had a Danhausen, we had Nick Gage, Bruiser Brody, Raven, Andre the Giant, excuse me. There was Kevin Sullivan, King Kong Bundy, Andre the Giant, and Bastion Booger. So a very strong series nonetheless. Really hoping for Series 3 because One Man Gang and Slick are definitely a couple guys I'm going to pick up. There's no doubt about it. With Paul Roma and Hercules Hernandez, I mean, I don't know if that's going to be an individual package or 2-pack because they have another Nick Gage and Matt Cardona 2-pack. In fact, they actually came up with that 2-pack a few days ago, and I went in to buy it. And for whatever reason, I decided not to. Well, I think right now, I'm trying to think if I want to get 2 figures or 2 packages so I could have one loose, or if I should just go for one now, because that 2-pack is, just like buying 2 figures. It doesn't jump from like $40 to $50. It jumps from $40 to $80 or $85, I think it was, for 1 pack. And I'm like, that's just insane. I don't like either of the characters. The figures aren't exactly all that impressive. So it's like, why would I want to shell $85 for that? But I have to because OCD is going to force me into it. It's going to tie my hands. So, all right, guys. So this does complete Zombie Sailors, Heels and Faces, both Series 1 and 2. Just like any other series that we reviewed, with new figures coming in, with new, I'm always going to make new videos to add to the playlist. And if you missed Series 1, just go on and click on that folder, and both videos will be inside. In the meantime, what is next? I really want to start on Random Treasures, or the My Favorite Random Treasures LJN figures tournament. I kind of already know who my winner is going to be. I think anyone that watches my videos knows exactly who the winner is going to be. So the only thing that I can do to offset that is kind of eliminate some existing figures. So when I do make the LGN tournament, and I'll talk about this again the day that I film the LGN tournament, video 1. When I make the videos, it's not going to include any LGN originals. So, for example, before I ever got the original figures, I bought LJN bought these LJN figures from Random Treasures, and they include like Series 2 Andre the Giant. They include Bam Bam Bigelow. And then, like, Series 6 figures, like Rick Rude and Boss Man, Haku, Warrior, etc., Warlord. I also got a white shirt referee from them. Again, none of those figures will be part of that tournament because they're all considered LJN original figures in my eyes. And but, like, the pink referee, same exact figure as the white shirt and blue shirt from LJN, but because it's its own color scheme from Random Treasures, I'll consider the referee to be part of that tournament. And I won't include the Hasbro mail-away of Sergeant Slaughter, so I bought that from them as well. That won't be included. So once you take away all of those figures, you're basically dropping the number from like 50-something down to, I think, somewhere like 42 currently. Will I get the Mr. T figure in time? I don't think so. I'm going to probably put a hold off on that. In fact, I'll probably wait until maybe mid next year and kind of do like what I did this time around and buy like 7 figures all at one time. Kind of work with Annette to get them at a reduced price by paying her through PayPal. And she let me pay them when I could. I think I paid like $156 at one time, and I just said forget it. And I just paid the last $600 all up at once, so I didn't have to worry about paying over several months or anything like that, several weeks. Just kind of get that knocked out. So that is the next plan. I think that's the next video I'm going to make is the Random Treasures exclusive. If not, I don't know. There's just too many choices. I look around the room, and I still want to continue on with the different figures or different characters from different toy lines. I haven't made one in a long time because I've been stuck making the Mattel Retro videos, and I wanted to post those all back to back. So I still want to add those in from time to time as well. And as far as reviews, I got about 10 figures or so from Grapplers and Gimmicks. So currently I have 7 of them. And I think there's about 2 or 3 more figures that I bought that I'm still waiting on to come in. So Grapplers and Gimmicks, that I still got to do a review video for those figures as well. And I think that's it. Shoot. I mean, really, the only thing that we haven't done reviews on is the Legends of is the Jakks Pacific Classic Superstars. And I probably won't ever do a review on those because, like I said before, unless I have an entire series, I don't want to be making videos. If that series had like 8 releases and I had 6 of them, yeah, I could. But like if it has like 9 releases and I have like 3 figures or 3 sets from there, it just doesn't make no sense. Yeah. All right, guys. I know I have a habit of kind of talking your ears off at the end of each of my videos, but I just try to provide updates as much as I possibly can. So, you guys know what the next set of videos should be, and again, guys, I love hearing your recommendations. I mean, I always feel like these videos are for you, so if you have anything that you want me to make, definitely, just hey. I always write down you guys' ideas, and I do plan on making videos sometimes sooner than later. Bum Breaking Action recommended a Ram Treasures tournament. I'm like, heck yeah. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to do it for several months because I just did not have all the figures at the time. But now I'm much more complete. I'm only missing a few of them. And I feel like this, that particular tournament could be, that's another thing, guys. Ram Treasures with the Galoob 2-ups. Because they're not really changing anything, it's still an original design from Galoob. What do you think? Do you think I should include the Galoob 2-ups in my tournament? Because if I say Ram Treasure exclusives, that should only be figures that they're known for making. And yeah, you can say, well, the 2-ups are part of their exclusive, sure, but they're still Galoob figures at the end of the day. I don't care if they're rubber, I don't care if they're LJ 8-inch size, they're still Galoob. We still refer to them as Galoob 2-ups. So if you think I should include the Galoob 2-ups, I will. I'm going to leave it to you guys to make that determination, and hopefully I get enough responses in before I start filming, because I want to do a random drawing and kind of choose the names at will. I'm not going to have them based on the way they sit on the shelf or anything. So I'll pick a name out of a hat and we'll go from there. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. You guys' viewership means the world to me. Your subscriptions, your comments, your remarks, I've met a lot of really fantastic people selling on eBay and then making these YouTube videos. I've met so many incredible people that I talk to on a consistent basis. If you guys ever want to reach out, we'll find a way to make that happen. I always love hearing from people, regardless. I'm pretty much retired, so I have no life. Most of my days are spent cleaning the house or, creating listings for sale or something. So, you guys ever want to reach out, want to talk, by all means, let me know, and we'll get it done. Well, thank you, everybody, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye, everyone.